Hello and welcome to our Lightning Skills series. This video forms part of our Empowering Educators training videos. The final area that we're going to focus on is explanation. So some short tips here is around explanation is to really think about the attention span of those young people. So you're really trying to immerse yourself in the world of a young person and specifically the group it is that you are engaging with. Particularly if you're working with hard to reach young people, it's really important that you get those young people to understand the concept of what it is you're talking about. If they don't understand the concept or you can't get them to understand the concept, then you're going to lose them, they're going to disengage. And I think my general point here is that, this isn't about making it so simple because we don't believe that these young people are intelligent or that these young people can't get complex concepts. But generally speaking, I think we focus here at Cosmos on boiling it down often to its most simplistic part and then building it back up again. If you don't need a long-winded explanation, don't give them a long-winded explanation. If you can boil it down to 2 words, boil it down to 2 words. If it can be 10 words, it can be 10 words. But really, it's just focus on giving them the explanation, giving them information that they need, getting them to understand the concept, and then bringing it to life with some real life examples if you can. So thinking about what we do, we deliver a marginal gains program. Marginal gains is almost like our scaffold, if you like, so the structure. And so if we just pause there for a moment and think about marginal gains, there are 2 ways you can explain that and explain that concept. The way I wouldn't explain it is to a group of young men is to do a deep dive into the academic literature and the journals and talk about this theory of marginal gains in an academic and theoretical and conceptual way. No, we bring it to life and we talk about how marginal gains is used in cycling, in sport, in the Premier League football, in business, and we talk about this concept of small 1% improvements. So it's really getting them to understand the concept and how it is you're going to explain that. And one of the ways I've touched on just there is about bringing it to life, so real examples, real examples in the world, but real examples that you can relate to their life. I think that's the way you get them to understand the concept, and crucially, that's the way you get them to engage. So finally, 2 points I'm going to mention is that the first is, and be aware of this because generally speaking, you are working with hard to reach young people. So we're not stereotyping here, but I would say that you can expect some challenge in that because the very nature of working with hard to reach young people is that they are hard to reach, right? But I would be mindful of thinking about challenge as a negative thing. I would say that, not all challenge is negative, or I would say that not all challenge is created equally. We just need to remember that young people express themselves in lots of different ways, and it's important to remember that not all challenge is negative. The final thing that I will say, and this is a really important point, this came out of some evaluation that we did, so some impact evaluation we did based on our marginal gains program. We've been out, we've delivered it in many schools, we got lots of useful insight back, but the key thing that we got back from that was from a young man, and it was around the fact that to engage with young men, I would say this is true across the board, but specifically hard to reach young men, and is that you have to give one. And I think you can insert your own appropriate word after that. I think we all know what that means. You have to give one. The softer way of putting it is that you have to care, you have to be bothered, you have to be engaged, you have to be authentic. And if none of that applies, it really shows up, and it shows up in your workshop, it shows up in what you're trying to do, and it shows up in the level of engagement we get from those young people. So I think as a parting nugget, a parting tip is really to focus on just really caring and really being invested, and as this young man said, just give one. And I think that really goes a long way in terms of getting buy-in from young people. It goes a long way in terms of getting engagement from those young people, and all of that just serves you well in terms of being able to have the highest level of impact in terms of your facilitation and delivery. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you get lots of value from it. Hopefully it's really useful in your role as a facilitator, as a teacher, as a practitioner, as a careers lead. So thanks again for listening. Hope you enjoy. Take care.